Hello, welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is Cosmetic, and in today's Lost Ark video we are talking about the Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG message from the team, where Amazon is finally addressing some of the issues we had in the last few days and weeks, especially with ARGS and the honing issues. So if you have completely missed out on this, it's pretty simple. We here in the West got a lot of content quickly, and Amazon really tries to push us through that content. Like, they don't really want us to stick around tier 1, they don't really want us to stick us around in tier 2, they want us in tier 3, they want us where Argus is. And the problem coming with that is they didn't give us the tools to do so quickly, and people were really confused by this, and people actually got quite angry about it, because that is what Lost Ark did in other regions. They were much slower because they had to wait months, sometimes years, before they actually got new content. But then they also got tools at their disposals, like events, more honing rates, and so on and so forth, to actually do those big jumps to keep up with the content which was pushed on them. We here in the West, weirdly enough, we didn't get anything, and nothing was communicated. Argus came out last week, and it was a head scratcher even for the hardcore players on how to reach that without dumping hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of credit card money on this game. And the answer was there wasn't really an option. There isn't really an option a week after the release of Argus, and for a lot of people they had to invest a lot of gold or money to actually even have a chance to play Argus. Like, some people sometimes misunderstand this. This is not about people immediately beating Argus when they are dumping a lot of money into the game, or when they're farming a lot. It's not like you were getting the equipment and you were like, yeah, okay, Argus, easy mode. No, this is the beginning of you even having a chance of trying Argus. So that means, as a free-to-play player, it can sometimes take weeks, months even, before you even get a chance to try out the new content. And people were like, so why are you pushing the content so hard, Amazon? Like, you want us to play the new content because the new content is amazing, but then you don't really give us the tools to achieve that. That contradicts each other. And people were really angry at this because there was also no communication whatsoever from Amazon coming. And now that has changed. Now let's have a look at this, shall we? Because I have the article open, and they are saying, Heroes of Arkesia. We can't believe it's already been a month since Lost Ark launched to the Western audience. Our teams at both Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG have been working tirelessly on stability, combating bots, preparing new content, and much more behind the scenes. We appreciate the support and patience we have seen from players around the world, and before diving in our team update, we'd like to thank the millions of heroes who have set foot in Arkesia and joined us for the start of this adventure. Speaking of adventure, or at least the international travel, this week we are joined by Smilegate RPG in our Seattle office for a fun and productive uneating of force, where we take a look at the content roadmap, improve operation tools, and continue collaboration on all things related to the Western release of Lost Ark. We thought this would be the perfect time to also partner on authoring an update to address concerns we have seen within the community, share our approach for the releasing new content in Arkesia's Western release, and spoiling a few upcoming surprises. Let's tripod right into it. Yeah, as I said before, like, the biggest problem we just had is that we basically had no information whatsoever. And let's see what they have to say, shall we? I haven't read this yet, so this is also kind of new information for me, and I will react on the fly to that. Launching Lost Ark in the West has been wonderful, humbling, and great learning experience for us at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG. Our journey has been filled with late nights, creative problem solving, so an absolute shit show, hoping into Western service to play together, and now looking ahead at things to come. As we continue to learn from our players' feedback and dive into data, our goal is to remain transparent, sometimes brutally so, with our players. Yes, see, I really hope that will be the case. And I really hope that Smilegate has finally put their foot down and told Amazon, hey, what the heck? We try to be as transparent as possible with our players. We expect the same from you. If you have missed it, at the release, the director of Lost Ark, Golden River, was actually on a show, and he politely issued his concerns about Amazon not being very open. He was very polite about it, and it was more like a joking thing, but he meant it. And I think this is the next thing where they were not bringing the information to the Western audience as much as Smilegate hoped for. And unfortunately, we have seen this before with New World, which is not only published by Amazon but also developed, and they got better at it, but there were also a lot of moments where people were just not knowing what's going on. And I'm really hoping that this is a turning point to just give us some tidbits. Give us some small information. You don't have to put an article out all the time, but at least give us something. We at least know what is being worked out on, or what is overlooked right now, right? To set the stage, we'd like to reiterate some thoughts on progression we shared earlier this month. In other regions, players had to stay in Tier 1 and Tier 2 for considerable duration. Yeah, I've already said that at the beginning, so they're basically saying the same thing again as I said. The intention is that we used as a road for players to understand the menu systems in Lost Ark. Encouraging players to explore the world. Yeah, okay, we talked about this. Yes. As Golden River, Lost Ark's game director, recommended, you're progressing at your own speed and enjoying horizontal content such as exploration, collectible quests, and more alongside your vertical item level progression. A lot of players are currently progressing through Tier and Tier 2. That is true. When you were looking at the Steam achievements, the last time I checked 2 days ago, only 1.7% have Tier 3 equipment. 1.7%. That's not a lot. So yes, most people are actually still in Tier 1 and Tier 2. Some of you are already on Tier 3, ready to vanquish endgame challenges. Our goal has always been for players to progress at whatever pace they see fit. The Western version of Lost Ark launched with content and above the item level of 1317, such as the Night Fox Yoho, Velganos Guardians, World Bosses, and so on and so forth. With that important content, let's talk about AGS. We've seen players' concerns that releasing AGS before the significant portion of the player base had progressed through Tier 3 made Lost Ark feel pay to win. We never wanted players to feel rushed in their quest to hit the item level 1370. We are considering having AGS available at launch, but viewed the Abyss Raid as an important stepping stone, helping bridge the gap to endgame activities that have yet to be released in the Western version of Lost Ark. We're looking at Legion raids. Through that lens, we wanted to give AGS a spotlight and a special introduction into Arkesia. Yeah, again, that is not a problem. It totally isn't. If you want that people are actually going to AGS because you think that AGS is a very important stepping stone in Lost Ark design philosophy, which it is, cool. But then make it possible, and don't make it so that even the hardcore players basically take weeks, if not even months. The people who play this game 12 hours a day probably need a week or two before they can even play it, leaving alone the normal players. So if you are opening AGS, you have to make sure that it's available to the people and not become an utterly grind. But let's continue to read. We made a mistake releasing the March game update too quickly after launch. Interesting. Data we analyzed alongside Smilegate RPG from our previous launches projected that a larger portion of players would have reached the level required to challenge AGS. How? Again, I just have to open up Steam, go under the worldwide Steam achievements, and Tier 3 is an achievement you will unlock, and even I can see that only 1.7% have achieved that. As like, how did you make the assumption that more players have this? Like, keep in mind, the grind in Lost Ark is real. And this is something I always said. I don't like the honing system, how it works. You can do the honing system. You can keep that. That's fine. But maybe you want to change it. That it's not a percentage chance anymore if you fail or succeed. But actually, it's always 100%. But then you are lowering the amount of honing materials you get, or you have to increase like the amount of honing materials you need to do like a honing step. Because then at least you wouldn't get punished even if you farmed for the materials for days or sometimes even weeks. And that's something they really should consider. I know this will probably destroy their whole pay-to-win idea in the item shop, but they have to give us tools, man. They have to give us tools. So we will see. However, we overlooked certain variables, such as players spending more time on horizontal content and the price of honing materials increasing due to bots and real money transactions. These factors contributed to a scarcity of tier 3 honing materials. Together, our teams at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG are continuing to gather data on play patterns in the Western version to better inform our future content roadmap. We appreciate the patience and support we have seen from the community while we continue to learn together and work on updating on our roadmap, and apologize for the confusion and early excitement has generated. Yeah, I think this is something they really have to look into. Like, the Western community loves horizontal content. I know there are always those hardcore raiders. Look, I have been a hardcore raider in my past. I have been a progress raider, but I know that a huge chunk of an MMO community does not necessarily care for that. They don't care for that. That isn't really what they are looking for. Like, if you're looking at games like Final Fantasy XIV, when you were asking like a person, what is the greatest thing in that game beyond raiding? And you know what a lot of people will tell you? Housing. Doesn't give you any advantages, doesn't give you any power strength, but people love housing. People love to decorate their houses, to change how they look, how they function, having parties on there. Like, the housing community is one of the most thriving communities in Final Fantasy XIV. And again, has nothing to do with progression. Doesn't give you any power. And it seems like that the Western community really likes to do horizontal content, sometimes for days, not just for an hour or so. So it seems like they have completely misunderstood that. Where was it? After analyzing data and listening to player feedback across all our community channels, we believe that an update that helps adventure progress with the content currently in-game is more important than releasing new endgame content. We'll expand on this below in the honing section. With that said, players should feel encouraged to progress at whatever pace they are most comfortable with. However, there is still a wealth of endgame content that needs to arrive in Arkesia. Endgame content will be introduced, but players should continue progressing at their own pace. Our goal is to provide fun content for player, even if it is a higher level, while never making players feel pressured that they need to pay to progress. Yes, this is the biggest problem right now. This is how a lot of people felt with Argus. Flexibility has always been a driving force in the collaboration between our teams, as is ensuring that players are able to enjoy and play Lost Ark how they see fit. From adjusting to the monetization for Western versions, like making sure that aside from some account level features, everything can be earned in game, which is kind of tough to do, but yeah, sure. Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG will continue to monitor, but feel that Legion raids, the definitive Lost Ark raiding experience, should be released after players have acquired enough materials to be confident and ready for the complicated challenges awaiting them. Don't worry, more content is still coming. Horizontal content like new classes, islands, and the continent of South Vern will release as planned. We will share a more comprehensive look into our content roadmap for April and May in the near future. Still waiting on that one after you pulled it, after a week of in-studio collaboration has concluded and the plans have been finalized. Okay, so probably next week. Now that we have discussed our approach to progression and endgame content, let's move on to cosmetics, skins, and advanced classes. As we read the forum, watched streams and videos, checking on Discord, and hop in game, we have seen feedback that players would like skins and advanced classes to be released at an accelerated rate. Yeah, like I have to say, it's kind of weird. Like people have been very anti pay-to-win mechanics in the game, as to was to be expected here in the West. Like they don't like the pay-to-win mechanics, and you would have assumed that Amazon would have put in more skins to offset that so that they can make money. Like it's still fascinating to me till today how there are companies out there who completely underestimate the skin frenzy Western players can bring to the table. Like they don't give a damn about your pay-to-win aspects. They despise it to the core. But give them a nice glowing skin for their character? Dude, they throw the money at their screen. I mean, why do you believe Riot Games and League of Legends and Warframe and some other games out there make so much shit ton of money? Not because of like pay-to-win aspects, because of skins, amazing skins, expensive skins. And then we have here Lost Ark, which has tons of actually crazy skins holding them back in the West. That's like, why? It makes no sense. These two categories of contents are entwined. Yeah, the same goes with the advanced classes. Like we are still missing, what, at least 7 classes? Which is one of the reasons that speeding up too much is tricky. Existing skins in the Korean version were released before some classes, requiring art and development time to rig models with skins for newer classes and special weapons that accompany them. Still, we are releasing skins at a faster rate than they were originally in Korea, and we will continue to listen to player feedback about the tempo of their release. Similarly, classes will be released faster, and our goal is to catch up. Yes, please. Like, I kid you not. I'm playing not a single class right now I wanted to play when Lost Ark is coming out. I'm playing a Gun Lancer, but not because I want to, because it's the only class which is kind of cool. But all the classes I really want to play, because I have also played them in the Russian version, cannot even play yet. Like Arcanist, like one of the starter classes in Lost Ark, didn't get that. Scouter, nope. Blade Master, nope. Lance Master, not Blade Master. Lance Master, my bad. Nope. I was like, okay, this is awkward. As we release new content into a game, we want to add new classes that complement that content. More classes will be available soon, and we will share specific in the upcoming roadmap. Okay, like again, with the skins, that some skins are not available for some of the classes. I mean, we already have that. Like, we already have skins which are exclusive to some classes. Like, the Striker has a, like, legendary skin. I think only the Striker has. If not, it's exclusive to martial artists. But I think it's only the Striker. I was like, yeah, so what gives? Then you have some skins which are not available to some other classes. Happened before in games. Nobody will go crazy about it too much. Economy, bots, and honing materials. Now this is interesting. Another area of player concerns we have seen is around honing. Yeah, probably the biggest concern. We know that for every triumphant yell as a player succeeds, a low percentage honed, there are other players frustrated with their attempted failing, leaving them without any materials to try again. As players focus on their first character, We have seen their lower number of alternative roster characters to help feed main characters and the economy with high holding materials. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I have seen this too, and I'm basically affected by this too. I'm playing my main, and that already takes me an hour or two per day. And I am not having another 20 classes. Like people are very much focused on this one class economy. And I know how some people will immediately say, well, that is their problem then. No, it's not. Because that is how Western players play their MMOs. Especially at the beginning, they want to get good with one class. They want to focus on that class because they love to play that class, and they want to put as much time into that as possible. Later on, yeah, they will have probably old characters or whatever. But in South Korea especially, it's a very different beast, where having 10 different characters is pretty much normal. But it isn't here, and I don't think you should try to force that on the people. But yeah, I can totally see this. A shortage of tier 3 progression materials coupled with problems introduced by bots have made honing materials too expensive and a burden for players. Yeah, because they spiked the gold available in the game. To combat this, we will be supplying more progression materials for players to earn through fun in-game events, injecting more gold into the mid to end game, and continue our hard stance against bots. Okay, so don't get me wrong, I hope that the AGS Grand Prix is not your only solution to this. Like, as nice as that is to do, it's not even enough. It's a drop in the ocean right now. Bots have been a problem since launch. We've banned them quickly. Early game goal that attracted them in the first place. Yes, they want to change this. We will continue to take hard stance. Yeah. So yeah, they have basically told us this already, that they will change the welcome gold you can get in the early game. They will change it to silver and all that. So yeah, injection of honing materials. In the next week's update, we will provide additional Grand Prix honing rewards, introduce a new casual event, Guardian Raid. A new casual event, Guardian Raid, to supply players with more honing materials, and kick off the first season of competitive proving grounds. I am super stoked and hyped for the competitive proving grounds. Oh, sorry, I had my microphone there. My bad. I'm super hyped for that. But this isn't the solution. There are tons of people who don't want to touch PvP, who don't want to play it competitively. Do not force people into PvP to get materials for PvE. If you do, like, yes, honing materials were always part of the PvP experience in Lost Ark, and that is completely fine, and I think it's cool that they're doing this. But basically, to use this to offset missing honing materials right now in the game, we will see what the other events will bring us. Event Guardian Raids. In this event, you can enjoy Guardian Raids in a more casual way. Relax, play, and get honing rewards. Similar to the Grand Prix, you can enter once a day per roster and earn event-specific coins to spend on rewards at a new vendor. This vendor can be found in major cities alongside the entrance to this new activity. In this event, Scale of Balance is applied to change the character stats to match the Guardian level, and the difficulty is adjusted according to the number of participants in the raids. Players will be able to challenge Helgia, Frost Helgia, Lumerus, Urnil, Virtus, Chromarium, Necrosena, all the names, This event will last for roughly a month, and players with the item level 250 or above will be able to participate. We'll reiterate, I hate that word, the details of this event in next week's update notes, but I'm excited to spoil the surprise as players look to earn more honing materials. AGS Grand Prix adjustments. We're adding tailoring books and metallurgy books to the reward table for players to increase their honing rates, and we are increasing the number of event coins earned to help players get items easier than before. We hope those new rewards will help players as they look to progress to tier 3 and beyond. Okay, that's neat, that helps. PvP rewards. For players eagerly awaiting PvP action, Season 1 of the competitive Proving Grounds will release in next week's update. I'm really looking forward to this. Players will be able to earn a variety of rewards, including access to weekly honing materials. We have a dedicated article announcing more details next week. We will be back for another video, I assume. We will continue to review player feedback and data around honing material, rates, price, and within the in-game community. Okay. Still not what people have expected, but this should alleviate a lot of our problems. Conclusion. Complete with gifts. Hey, I love gifts. We know there's a lot to unpack above, and even with the context and information, you might have questions, concerns, and feedback. Our teams at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG will continue to listen to your feedback and work to communicate openly with you. We sincerely appreciate the enthusiasm and support we have received in the first months since launch. Before we wrap up, if there's one thing the report system has taught us, it's that people loved gifts. Yeah. Lost Ark fans around the world are celebrating all new players now enjoying the game they love. Players in Korea received gifts to commemorate the Western launch of the game, and we wanted everyone to be included. We are so grateful for all you who have joined. You received this gift the week of March 21st after your weekly update maintenance. Oh, is this the... So you're getting new animal skin selection, Mokoko pet selection, Mokoko board, Lost Ark United structure, appearance change ticket, Fions, Menelix tome, legendary card pack selection chest, jukebox songs. Nice. When the jukebox content is released in the future. Isn't this the year 2 or year 3 birthday gifts? No, this is something else. Oh my god, I love the pets. Ah, this would be so amazing for winter. This is fantastic. Nice. Unfortunately, no Makoko seeds. Lots of cats. Why do we never get a mole? I love the hoverboards. They're pretty cool. Alright. Well, so my conclusion to all of this. Good. This is good. This should have been much sooner. We should have gotten this much sooner. Now, they added a lot of stuff because it took them so long. Okay. But I really hope in the future, Amazon, please be open with us. We will not always like it, but at least we will have a conversation about it. And not this, okay, we released AGS. And then a week of silence, more or less. And streamers, YouTubers talking about it, and they influence a lot of people what they think, and you have tens of thousands of people getting angry at you because there is no communication whatsoever. I get it. This is complicated sometimes because you have to talk to Smilegate. You are not the developer of this game, you're just the publisher, and Smilegate makes the decision. But even Smilegate, as we have already found out, is not very happy about your communication. And it seems like they are more than appreciative if you communicate with us. So please do that. Honing materials, this might help for now, we will see what we are getting in the future. I'm very curious to see the roadmap. I hope they will actually accelerate the class release. As I said before, so far we would have gotten, what, 1 class per month starting in April? That's far too slow. That's far too slow, especially if your class is the last class in that line. Then you would have to wait to what? Beginning of next year? That's unacceptable. Especially keep in mind, we are not done with classes. Like, the next class has already been teased in South Korea, which is the Aeromancer. Like, there are still classes coming. So get us up to speed and give us the tools to handle that speed. That would be great. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a pretty long video, and I could have probably shortened it, but hey, you know how I roll. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you are on your way out, please don't forget to like. It helps me a great deal. If you have any thoughts about this, let me know down below in the comments. I would definitely read them. And if you're new to the channel, you want to see daily gaming news, reaction videos, we are slowly coming up to the months of gaming conferences and gaming announcements, so there will be much more gaming announcement and reaction videos here on the channel. And you also want to see more about especially Lost Ark guides, like those kind of updates, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe to the channel. If you ever want to catch me live, you can do so from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 AM ET, which is 2 PM UK time and 3 PM Central European time, over at trovo.live/chaosmole. And I'm also sometimes streaming over here on YouTube, especially PvP. Yeah, especially PvP, because I'm preparing for the first season. So again, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Till then, have a good one.